Okay, in this video, we're going to go through the process of collecting and recording literature for the literature review. So I made this spreadsheet in Google Drive, which will be shared to you. The first column is just to write your initials, and then use the search engine. I am using the bookmarks. I will share those with you in a second, but this might say Google Scholar, EBSCOhost, or ProQuest, or something like that. Or if you're looking in a specific journal at a bunch of articles, then you could just put that journal name there. So the search term here, if you are using like EBSCO or Google Scholar, for example, put in here exactly what you searched for. So if it was citizen science, put that in there. Maybe it would be volunteer data collection. Maybe you want to say citizen science and training. When you capitalize, when you put a word in all caps, this will return selections that have both the phrase citizen science and training in it. I'm going to leave these in here, although I'm not using one for the example I will use for the rest of this video, but I'll just leave them down here to give you an idea. And if you come up with some while you're in the middle of working through a different search term, then just put them here for later. I do recommend that you start a search and you just keep searching until you feel you've exhausted that search, the combo of the engine and the term, because we'll try to exhaust every possibility of engine and term to feel that we've captured all the literature. Once we start seeing the same articles over and over again, we'll know we've done a thorough job, and we won't have to worry about searching too much longer. Now we're going to record the article citation here, but look, I wrote a note. Don't worry about the formatting. Include the URL. There's a special column just for the URL. I'll have to copy these into my citation database, so it doesn't matter what the format is, if it's APA, MLA, blah, blah, blah. Know that I will be using APA, so if you can copy APA, that'd be great. So here we're going to use an article that I've already found, and I just took this out of my bookmarks as I mentioned before. See how on the page right here it has the citation. You just copy that into the spreadsheet and move on to the next column. Taking this from my bookmarks. I can't find a way to actually upload the bookmarks to this spreadsheet in a different tab, so I'm going to have to send that to you in a different document. So is it training specific? Yes, this one is. Training specific should be answered with a Y or an N, so I'll just leave this at Y. Now we're going to make a summary comment, a method comment, and any key points that you think are important. And then if you can, this will be the most difficult part probably, write one sentence that might appear in the literature review with this article as the citation. So many times I am doing a great job of moving through the literature, but then I don't take the time to compose that one sentence. But the more we do this, the easier it will be, because you'll encounter an article and you'll say, oh, the point I'm going to make, this article follows suit with that point, and constructing the sentence will become easier. Okay, so my summary comment, just from reading the abstract, I have read the whole article, relates to this right here. The combined results showed that scientists collected data that was closer in agreement with benchmarks than those of volunteers, but when data was collected by individuals were analyzed, some volunteers collected data that were in similar or closer agreement than scientists. To me, that means there was a broader range of skill level among the volunteers than the scientists. So, it'd be perfectly fine if you have this one key point that sticks with you, to actually copy it in here just as you see it. make sure you use quotations so it's clear that this is not your paraphrase. But that's the thing that this makes this article stand out, okay? So then I'll write here the sentence I said before. This result indicates that there was more range in skill among volunteers than among scientists, because some volunteers were more precise than scientists, some were less, but as a total group, their average was not quite as good as scientists. So that's kind of important because there's literature that suggests that the prior knowledge base of the volunteer has a lot to do with their skill in data collection. My summary comment for this article is that these authors made direct comparisons between the data collection of scientists versus volunteers. I might go back here and see what kind of data they were collecting. So they were looking at vegetation attributes. So I might put that in here. Excuse me, under methods. They were measuring vegetation attributes. From the article itself, well, I must not have the article right here. It must be on my computer. From the article itself, I could deepen this information, but for right now, for the video, we'll just leave it like that. But let's go back to here. Notice how the reference section of this article is hyperlinked. So if any of these, it's always good practice to look in the references before moving to the next paper. If any of these seem appropriate, then you can go right into the next line with that, and in the search term you could say from references in line 2, and move on with that. Okay, so I think we've got this covered. I know you're a smart individual and you'll ask me questions if you don't understand. I'm sorry it's taken me a little while to get to this point, but I've got so many things to share with you. I just wanted to make sure I started in the right spot. Let me point you to one other thing. So I'm going to give you my bookmarks HTML file, and I can't seem to copy these out of this HTML document and preserve the hyperlinks. So you're going to have to scroll down here and find the bookmark that says dissertation. So these are all articles that I've already pulled from somewhere, and you are welcome to use this list to get you off the ground. Not all of these are training appropriate, but they're all articles that I read and cited before. Then I'm going to show you something else. There's a special issue. Okay, these are the last 2 bookmarks in that document I just showed to you. One is a special issue in Frontiers in Ecology and the Environment, and this is an ESA journal. So this was a special issue about citizen science. So this would be another great list to start from, and you could just use this URL as your search engine notation. Then there's a brand new journal that was started in May of 2016. So there really aren't that many articles published yet because the article is not even, or the journal is not even a year old. But you could also just go to this journal and work from here. And again, you can use the URL in any search term or whatever to identify it in this spreadsheet. So to recap, work in this spreadsheet whenever you have time. It'll both be shareable just to us, and I've given you some places to start, chiefly this bookmarks here, and then this special edition and this journal here. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know. I will send you more information as I write it, like my purpose statement and my problem statement. These things I'll be writing in the next couple of weeks. But know that the main thing I'm looking for is any articles that talk about how citizen scientists are trained. My niche hopefully will be the training of citizen scientists, not the specific task they do, not data validation, nothing about the specific subfield, like if it's birding or vegetation management. I care about training citizen scientists of all kinds. That is what I'm going to write my dissertation about. So keep that in mind as you're looking. It's perfectly fine to record articles that are about citizen science and they're not about training. We're going to come across way more of those than we do find articles about training. So make sure you let me know if you have questions, and I hope this has been helpful.